hello there, Hannah.
Well, hello there.
Well, how the hell are you?
Oh my God, wouldn't that be awful if we talk like that?
Oh, well, how are you?
We should find people from like Minnesota that act a lot like us to
Minnesota.
start a Midwestern ghostwritten.
Are you guys from Minnesota?
Be hilarious.
Is that offensive to Minnesotans?
I've never been.
Let us know, guys.
Are you offended, Minnesota?
I don't know.
Listen.
Is it because the name of your state sounds like Minnow?
Okay.
That was bad, wasn't it?
I don't know what Brandon's doing that, I guess. Just ignore him.
I'm grasping at straws is what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're tired. It's hot outside. Both of us have been without AC.
Yeah, we were discussing this before we started recording. It is very hot in Kentucky, and the apartment complex that we both live in is a little bit outdated on some of their
falling apart, is what you would say.
Some of their equipment, and yeah, it's not great. It's a really bad time for your air to be out.
Right. God. At least it was cooler this weekend. If it had a been during the week last week, I probably would have moved to a hotel and made them pay.
Yeah, what was our hottest day last week?
With the heat index was like 100.
Yeah.
Over 100. We got in the car one day and the car said it was 101.
Guys.
It's June. Like, it's too early for this shit.
It's fucking hot.
And this is Kentucky. We don't deal well.
Yeah.
Well, we also forget what all seasons were, like, by the next year.
Yeah.
We do this every year.
Well, we're pretty temperate most of the time. So what happens is if we have a bad summer, we're like, oh my God, what do we do when it's hot? And then if we have a really bad winter, we're like, oh my God, what do we do when it snows?
Right.
We just
and then it rains and we're like, holy shit, how do you drive in the rain? Yeah, we're a shit show pretty much.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
But it's hot, and it's gonna get hot this week. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
So I was looking at something this morning on TikTok. I almost sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, let me just wait to talk about it on the podcast. But I don't know if you've seen it. You guys have all probably seen it, but lately these websites that have like AI generated photos and stuff based on certain text prompts.
Yes.
Are really
my friend
popular.
Stormy is obsessed with them and she thinks they're hilarious and sends me the weirdest shit.
So I saw one that seemed to be, why did I sound like Christopher Walken just now? So I saw one.
Oh, maybe you're missing your calling as a Christopher Walken impersonator.
Mr. Wonka, you promised my boy a mountain of chocolate.
Oh my God, you're definitely missing your calling. And don't ever talk to me again unless you're talking like that.
So I saw the movie. No, I saw one where this guy was clearly using some kind of AI engine that he created, and the prompt that he gave it was it was like photographic evidence of the existence of demons, right?
Oh no.
And he shows a time lapse of the AI like making the pictures, and it is some of the scariest shit I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because it starts forming faces, right? Like and it's like a family, it's almost like a family like standing around and somebody's taking a picture, but the faces never like fully are realized, and the eyes are like dead and black.
That's
and
disgusting.
and in one of them, it creates a picture where it keeps putting a face in the corner, and then it disappears and comes back. And every time it's kind of like, yeah, it's, you got, I listen.
Brandon only sends me scary TikToks like late at night because I'm an old person and I go to bed early. And then I inevitably wake up to pee 50 million times. And I look at my phone and it's a message from Brandon. It's a video. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching that right now. And I put my phone down and forget about it until late in the next day.
I mean, that's really the time when I watch him the most, is when I'm laying down to go to bed. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that when I'm the only one awake in the house. Already
Well,
having weird fucking dreams.
What's funny is every time I see one of those videos, I inevitably look at the comments and people say, like, oh great, I watched this right before bed. On that one that I was telling you about, someone was like, yeah, I just had to put my foot back underneath the blanket.
My favorite so far of the like AI generated things were trail cam footage of B. Arthur.
I saw that.
This is perfect. Some of them are terrifying because people definitely ran with the trail cam footage. Mm-hmm. Oh, not good. B. Arthur, though.
Guys, we're living in the future.
We are.
What have you indulged in any creepy, spooky stuff this week?
So yes, actually, we this is the 40th anniversary of The Thing.
Hell yeah.
We went to see it in theaters yesterday.
Oh my god, I bet that was awesome.
Like Friday, I was sitting on Facebook scrolling and I was like, holy shit, it's like a Fathom event. And like Tyler's like, no, we don't need to spend the money. And I'm like, you're a dumbass. This is like your favorite movie. I was like, it's too bad. I already bought the tickets. We're going. And it was fantastic. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Movie. Like I've seen it a million times, but you notice so much more little things on a big screen.
Well, honestly, I feel like it's one of those movies that still looks great.
It does.
Like
the girl beside me had never seen it before. You could tell because she kept nervous laughing. Because at first I was like, wow, what a bitch. Why is she laughing at this? This is terrifying. And then I realized she was like, ha 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 ha.
You just about made me spit that water all over the place. I love that your first reaction was, what a bitch.
Shut the hell up. I'm enjoying my ridiculously good 80s horror movie.
Quit laughing, bitch. It's scary.
I thought about it. But God, it was so good. It was so cool to see in theaters. And I'm so glad we went.
I bet.
We left and I was like, aren't you glad I didn't listen to you and I bought tickets anyway?
Are you guys fans of the prequel?
It's okay. It's not anything. It's okay.
I like it.
The original is great. Well,
no, the original is great. Original. But I feel like, yeah, when I say the original, I mean the 80s version. Yeah. But I just feel like the prequel is so good because it's one of the, okay, listen, I think I've told you this before. I may have even mentioned on the podcast before, but when I was younger, there were certain VHS tapes that I would just wear the shit out of, right? And I would watch certain movies over and over. My favorite movies to watch were movies where the sequel picks up immediately where the first movie left off. And for example,
instant gratification kind of kids.
Yeah, for example, Halloween 1 and 2. I would end one and pop the other one in, and I would rewind it so that it would just start and I wouldn't have to like watch the opening credits. But
so it's like watching an extra long movie.
Yeah, but I feel like The Thing and The Thing, because the prequel was also called The Thing.
It's like called something else besides The Thing.
Are you sure?
I think so. Hold on.
I thought that was the confusing part, was that they just called it The Thing.
I'm looking. Keep talking.
It was like 2011. Anyway.
Oh, it is just called The Thing.
Yeah.
Book Buddy, but it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. So.
So no spoilers, but yeah, that movie ends right before the original starts.
Which is what you need.
Yeah. And I'm just
Yeah.
I'm a
Right.
fan. I've always been a fan of that. Like I think prequels should add to the existing story.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that, like that idea of, hey, you know, this thing that you really like, all this other shit happened right before that.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, you spend the whole movie with everybody going, "What the hell happened to these people?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, it was so good though.
And they
So
talk
good.
about them. They talk about the other crew when they get there.
Yeah, because they weren't very far away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. It was lovely though. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Made my Sunday. It
If
was great.
anyone listening to this hasn't seen The Thing, do yourself a favor.
It stands up so well.
Yeah. Kurt Russell.
Oh, Kurt Russell. And if you want to watch more things with more movies with Kurt Russell's face in it, watch anything with his son in it. Wyatt Russell, because it's the same face.
I thought you were going to say, if you want to watch more things, movies with things in them and there are things.
No. Movie, really good horror movie with Wyatt Russell in it, Overlord.
Really? I didn't know he was in that.
So good. Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that.
You definitely have to watch it. More body horror. Watch it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So what have you been doing, Spooky?
When
was the last
okay. Come on, TikTok.
No, it's not TikTok. It's a podcast that just started.
Oh, nice.
Ghosted.
It's a ghost that did that.
Probably.
Honestly, not a whole lot. I've just been watching other shows. But yeah, honestly, most of my creepy stuff is confined to TikTok nowadays, just because, like, I feel like there used to be a time back in the day, like the Wild West of the internet, where YouTube would have a lot of really interesting kind of shit, and now it's gotten so formulaic because people are, you know, understandably focused on making money.
Yeah.
But like, I remember like being younger, a young adult, and watching Marble Hornets for the first time, and that shit is so fucking creepy, and it's just a shitty YouTube series.
Mm-hmm.
But because, you know, that kind of I guess that type of media, that type of medium was so new at the time that, like, I don't know, it just adds an air of mystery to it. And yeah, if you we've talked about it before, because it's the Slender Man series. Like, the creepypasta about Slender Man is where he was created. Marble Hornets is where all the lore came from. So do yourself a favor and watch it. But yeah,
Tyler's gotten into this. It's kind of like a creepypasta thing. There's a bunch of YouTube videos though and I can't remember what it's called. It's numbers, but it's basically an organization that was created to confine.
SCP.
Yeah,
SCP.
Confine all the like ridiculous things in the world.
SCP has been around for a long time.
Yeah. So there's a really good YouTube series on a bunch of them now, and I think they did like a crowdfunding thing to fund it, and
there's a video game.
Is there a video game?
I don't know if it's still being made or not, but yeah, I used to have a buddy that was super into SCP, and I used to spend hours just going through them, because the way it works is the SCP is kind of like, it's what am I trying to say? It's like a fictional organization that is tasked with studying metaphysical type shit
and containing.
So all of the SCP specimens or whatever are designated with SCP and then like a number. And it's just
the numbers.
It's just a bunch of people contributing different stories and things like that. It's great.
It's really cool. Like it's a rabbit hole I'm trying not to fall down, but Tyler's got a bunch of the videos saved, especially from where they did the crowdfunding. And like they did a really good job.
I won't lie, I've thought about what a great podcast that would make.
Yeah.
to discuss like different SCP.
Yeah, it's wild though. And I'd never heard of it. And I was like, how are you finding this? And I had no clue.
I don't know how. It's been around for a long time.
It has. Because you said it, and I was like, I looked up and I was like, well, how the hell have I missed this?
Yeah.
It's my new life now, though, apparently. So it's fine.
You're a mom.
Whatever. I can.
I'm a cool mom. I'm not like a
Listen,
mom.
it has not stopped me at all. Like my pregnant brain is fully convinced that I can catch serial killers. So like there's nothing stopping me. I've just gotten worse since I got pregnant. My hormones, it doesn't scare me anymore. I just want to, I can fix it.
Hell yeah.
Solve the crimes. That's
my
brain.
That pregnancy courage.
Yeah, it's the extra testosterone in my body, probably. Is this what it's like to be a dude?
Yeah, it's kind of exhausting.
I'm ready to fight at all times. And holy shit, can I catch some serial killers? It's fine. And that's pregnancy.
The new podcast.
God, I can't do this long enough to make a podcast about it. I'm over it already. We're only halfway there.
So what you got for us this week?
So we're in Kentucky this week.
Hell yeah.
I was talking to my dad, and my aunt's super into all this stuff too. My dad too. Like they are the reason that I am the way I am. But my aunt says like, let's go places. They went to Waverly the other day, and they're gonna go to this place. It's near Bowling Green. I don't think it's in Bowling Green. And I had to look to make sure we hadn't done it, but I think I've just run upon it before and not talked about it. And like most things in Kentucky, unfortunately, it is Civil War related. If you are not from the US and not familiar with the Civil War,
let me tell you all about it.
Let me tell you about it. Slaves, half the country wanted them, half the country didn't. There's more to it than that.
The correct part didn't.
Yeah. And we live in Kentucky, which was very separated in their opinions, because not a lot of smack dab there.
Not a lot of people realize that, but yeah, Kentucky was like
a border state between the two, and we were very separated. What do they call the Civil War in Kentucky? It's like like war between brothers or something.
Something like that.
Because there were literally families that the brothers were divided. The family was divided and would fight on separate sides. So we're at a really cool house near Bowling Green, which is in southern central Kentucky.
Western.
Yeah. It's in this weird spot.
It's where WKU is, so it's Western.
Yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, but that's not even really Western Kentucky, because there's a whole chunk of Kentucky past them.
Kentucky's a wide state, y'all.
Yeah, God, it is. It's awful. So we are talking about the Octagon Hall.
Oh.
And it was nestled among 300 acres in Franklin. It's one of the most unique homes in southern Kentucky. Octagon Hall is, just as its name suggests, an 8-sided brick home. It played host to both Confederate and Union armies during the Civil War. It has a rich history of family loss and triumphs.
Oh, it's really cool looking.
It's really cool. So the way that this house is built is a perfect octagon. The one door is facing west. I think it's the back door, and the front door is facing east. And it's built in this beautiful area, so you have this like 360 view, because there are tons of windows in the house. Like, it's really, really cool. It's apparently haunted as shit.
Why else would we be discussing it?
Right. It was built by a man named Andrew Jackson Caldwell.
Okay.
He was a mason, and it was a solid brick structure built in 1847. Its back door faces directly west, while the front door faces directly east. Its windows are positioned to see all of the countryside.
I love this place.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous. So I'm going to read from a couple places. There's Kentucky Monthly. that I'm reading from, and also, for some reason, Paranormal Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
And they apparently came to this place.
We're just big fans.
Yeah. It's now a Civil War museum. But back in the day, when it was built by Andrew Jackson Caldwell, it was completed in 1859, and he sold the house in 1918 to an osteopath, Dr. Miles Williams, who lived there until his death in 1954. The house became a rental property until 2010, when the Octagon Historical Society purchased the property and began restorations. Can you imagine renting this place? Like, it's a whole ass like mansion.
That would be amazing, but I can't imagine what it would cost.
Yeah, I don't know. So Mr. Caldwell was a slave owner, pro-Confederate, and had a brother in the Southern Army during the Civil War. He died in 1866 of typhoid fever and was survived by his second wife, Harriet Morton Caldwell, who died in 1920. His property was used to raise cattle and was worked by 25 slaves. The house was located on the strategically important Nashville Road and I think that's what I meant to say, the L&N Railroad, used extensively by Union forces. More than 8,000 Confederate soldiers camped on the grounds the first night after the Confederate States Army evacuated Bowling Green on February 13th of 1862. When the pursuing Union soldiers arrived and camped on the grounds, they ate their food, killed their cattle, burned some of the buildings on the property, and contaminated the water wells with carcasses.
Jesus.
So there's a reason that it's basically a war crime now for armies to take over people's houses. And this is one of them.
And that stuff happened a lot during the Civil War.
But so the Union showed up and found all these Confederates hiding there. So they, like your sympathizers, and they fucked them over basically. The house was used throughout the war as a Confederate soldier sanctuary and hospital, which was a risky proposal, as the Union soldiers could have burned down the property had they suspected the owners of harboring Confederates. Legend has it that Mr. Caldwell kept honeybees in the cupola and would dress soldiers in bee suits to hide them there. When Union soldiers would access the cupola searching for rebels, they were quickly repulsed by the swarm of bees.
I like that word.
Right, repulsed.
Cupola.
Cupola?
Yeah.
The cupola was struck by lightning in 1916 and burned.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. During renovations, a loose brick was noted in the wall of the front porch steps of the house, and when removed, revealed another possible hiding place for soldiers. Additional hiding places included hollow walls and a tunnel in the basement.
Oh.
So I read too, like this was a great place for him to hide people because he had a 365-degree view around his property, so he could see when somebody was coming at all times because he could see.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense actually.
Right. So at least 2 Confederate soldiers died and are buried on the property. One died in the house from his battle wounds. The other was found dead on the doorsteps. Both were buried outside the slave cemetery. I almost said cemetery. Mary Elizabeth, they can't decide if she was 7 or 12 for some reason.
Okay.
Year-old child of Mr. Caldwell and his first wife was in the winter basement kitchen when her dress caught fire and she died of her burns.
Jesus.
She is also buried on the property. There's also a slave cemetery, which is surrounded by bald cypress trees, contains 17 graves with simple filled stones as markers. So there's been a lot here. Let me see. There was one more story in the house that was on a different website. Oh no, it was about Mary Elizabeth. So there are 3 family members buried on the property, and I think that's Mr. Caldwell, his daughter, and maybe his first wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are several Confederate soldiers buried there and 17 slaves. So like this place has been on a ton of shows.
Mhm.
They like the Travel Channel's been there, A&E's been there, the Discovery Channel and the History Channel have all been there.
Have the Ghost Adventures guys been there?
I don't know if Ghost Adventures, I think Ghost Hunters have been there.
Okay.
But this cool website, Paranormal Investigators of Milwaukee, has an evidence section on their website. So
Ooh.
there is video evidence, including a shadow in the basement, a basement door opening, when the hall was closed for Independence Day holiday, and a wheelchair moving.
Are there videos?
I think so.
Ooh.
There's a ton of videos on YouTube. Just search the place on YouTube and there's a
Okay.
million things. It's apparently super common. The guy that owns it now, I was reading something about it when he first bought the property. He's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Somebody had gone to him when he first bought the property. And then by the time they came back, he was regularly recording EVPs because things are just happening every single day in this house.
Okay, so I have a theory. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I guess more of a question. Bitch, Siri, I was not talking to you. So okay. Do you know like the concept of like sacred geometry?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this too.
Okay. So you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So I think it's super interesting, the idea that a place like this could be like a conduit for, spiritual, like a spiritual nexus or something.
Yeah.
And like it makes perfect sense to me that, given the concepts of sacred geometry, this place is like located in a, maybe it was built there for a reason. We don't know. It's conjecture, whatever.
There was something else about that somebody was talking about, that he was a Mason, obviously a Mason,
right?
And that the Octagon is a very important
ritual
symbol for the
symbolic.
Masons.
So yeah, I mean, I think, like we've said before, like traumatic experiences, heightened emotions can like mark a place. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that this place, like, because of the elements that went into making it. I mean, look, I'll have to look into it, but how do we know that there's not like, certain numbers in the length of walls and measurements and things like
Right.
that, like that's
I think this website actually tells the measurements of the walls and everything too, and the measurements of the Octagon.
Just
so like, who's to say that this specific shape isn't holding these things here as well? Because it seems like it all happens inside the house, not so much around
just
the
something
house.
to think about. It's like it's the same concept of like American Horror Story, like the murder house.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of the whole time I was reading about this place. I was like, there's something with the shape holding these things here and just kind of amplifying it maybe. But I thought it was super cool, and I was like, we'll just stay in Kentucky today.
It's so cool, and the fact that it's here makes me super want to go there. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes we talk about these places and I'm like, this is neat, but it seems like a run-of-the-mill creepy haunted place. This place has like a draw to it. Like, looking at it, I want to go there.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, it's a fascinating looking place.
So yeah, I don't know if that's anything creepy or not, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, there are a ton of pictures. Like even the museum itself is like post pictures of photos from novice ghost hunts of what people have caught.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I will put their website on our Facebook too.
Hell
but it's pretty neat.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's a good one.
Staying in Kentucky, I'd say short and sweet, but we like to run our mouths, so
yeah. I don't think we can. last few times, like we've just talked a lot. I don't think we can say that anymore.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. You guys wouldn't listen if you didn't want to hear us talk, right?
It's true.
Right?
Don't make him cry. Damn it.
Right? But yeah, no, that was a really good one. I'm kind of shocked that I never heard about that before.
Right? My dad was talking
Um,
about it. I was like, oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's super cool. This is one of those places where, you know, I always say this, but this is one of those places that if you've been there, I would absolutely love to hear
Yeah.
about it.
And it sounds like they welcome ghost hunts too.
There you go. So this is another one of those places that you could go to and then tell us all the creepy shit that happened in a listener story episode.
Appreciate that whenever owners are open to it. And why not? Like, you've got this, you're experiencing things. Why not open it to other people, especially if it's a historical society thing and y'all need to make some money. So
Exactly. Well, and it would be really sad if a place like this was lost due to, you know, someone not being able to afford it or something like that to keep it up. So yeah,
it's unfortunate that it's a Civil War pro-Confederate site, but
yeah.
here
But
we are, America.
oh, I literally just looked over at Google Images and saw a picture from this place of like an apparition in a window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fucking creepy.
There's a ton of them. It's fucking rad.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, have you ever been to Octagon Hall? Let us know. You can reach us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at GhostWritten Pod, or you can email us, ghostwrittenpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know what's up. I mean, if you've been to Octagon Hall, which by the way is such a badass name,
Right?
then let us know. But you know, we want to hear about other stuff too. So let us know your creepy stories. We are always asking for them. We would like to do another listener story episode, so get them on in. And if you would like to check us out on Patreon, we do have that. We have that as well.
We do. It's a thing.
It's patreon.com/ghostwritten. Got a couple of tiers. They're both very cheap. And you can watch videos of the podcast. You can see some extra content. Are you tired of the South? Yeah, us too. Go on over. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, on Patreon we venture out a little bit. So check that out if you'd like to support us that way. And then yeah, you know, like we always say, if you enjoy the podcast, give us a good little rating or a review or something like that on whatever platform you listen on, and you'd be really doing us a solid, bro. But
what's up with you today?
I don't know. I worked and then I worked out and it's hot.
It's hot.
All right, guys.
Stay cool, guys.
It's time for spooky noises. Ooh. Ooh.